Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, the motherfucking ranting monkey.
Hey.
And the Lord of Puppies, the motherfucking SDA.
Hey.
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Upper Back Pain, because I did something to my back, and I don't know what the fuck it is, but it hurts.
Damn.
It hurts. Anyway, how are you guys?
Everybody?
Yeah, that.
I'm good.
I'm okay.
Having a good fucking day.
A good fucking day.
Yeah, a really good day. No, I got some beta reviews back, on
I bet you did.
They're like deep into the shit now, and they're into it, and if they're into it, I'm into it. So happy.
Thank you, Terry Diamantis. Puns in the title get rewarded. You are quite welcome. Yes, the title of the stream, if you're watching this and you haven't read it yet, Kim Jong Unbelievably Dumb, because we have Kim Jong.
I saw that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I get it now.
It's
I'm glad you said it out loud, because I wouldn't have, realized that it was a pun.
I am the bee in subtle, that's for sure. Do we have anything else to cover ahead of getting to the wonderful world of the news?
Not that I'm aware of.
Apparently, SDA is the boss ass bitch SDA, not the motherfucking SDA.
Oh, sorry.
Boss ass bitch.
I'll try to. I'll keep that in mind for next time.
And I appreciate that. I will also accept Empress or Her Majesty.
Of course you will. Speaking of royalty, just a programming note, this coming Friday on my night, I have at least tentatively scheduled, because he whined about it, Irate Bear will be joining us as a guest. he's like, you don't have me on anymore. Like, do you want to come on as a guest? Yes! Okay, well, fine. So, yes, he'll be coming on Friday as a special guest for the end of the week.
I'm excited to talk to him. He's fun.
Yeah, haven't had him on in a while. I'm always under the impression that, our broadcast time is like 4 a.m. for him or something. So I don't know what the time actually is. I assume it's something late because, tailed when he's come on, he's had to take off because it's late there. But on a Friday night, maybe it's okay. Anywho, Terry Diamantis asked, Scribe, was he irate about not being invited? No, he was irate about not having been on for a while. And like I said, it wasn't a matter of not wanting him on completely. Just that I didn't think that,
How dare you?
Just that I didn't think the timing was good for, the Brits. So whatever. Anyway. Oh, hi, Laura Bones. 2 a.m. for us Brits. Okay.
Well,
that's a little late. Thank you, Meshisu. Attention, all men in the chat. Step forward if you want to be tricked into marrying SDA so she can take your last name. Oh, yeah, I saw that on Twitter. SDA is going to take the last name of her husband, quote, if she can trick someone into marrying her, unquote.
No, I mean, you can ask my dad, because every time I say this, my dad's like, yeah, you're not getting married, so.
Thank you, Sanguine. Nerdy non-research ad. Who are you and what have you done with Sanguine? Okay. Non-research ad done in the form of a market barker. Morgrim, Rhymebeard's Fine Brews, and Alcoholic Alchemics for my character in the Ixalan D&D for Shitlords campaign. As nerdy as I am, a lot of that read as Greek to me, but a market barker, Morgrim, Rhymebeard's Fine Brews, and Alcoholic. Okay. I think I understand. I will give it a shot. Did you want this as something that I recorded and sent you a link for, Sanguine, that you could use in the game, or did you want just a live? I mean, I could do both conceivably, but I just if you wanted the other to use it as a prop or something, just let me know and I'll do that.
Somebody asked. I think it was Alpha Omega asked when I'm singing, and I'll it will probably not be until after next week, just because I've got finals next week. But after finals, I will. 1, dress up as Meatloaf. 2, take a course on everyday feminism about white people. And 3, sing a Meatloaf song. So
it's a full week for you.
It'll be a crazy time. Oh boy, I'm scared.
All right. Well, speaking of fear, hey kids, do you like World War III?
No.
Yay!
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, in that case, Trump on North Korean missile launch. Quote, "We will take care of it," unquote.
There you go.
I know. North Korea issued a direct challenge to President Donald Trump with the launch of an ICBM missile that Defense Secretary James Mattis says demonstrates it has the ability to, quote, "hit everywhere in the world." Antarctica. Can they hit Antarctica? I don't know.
Probably.
Pyongyang blasted a missile that flew higher and farther than any of its past tests, despite repeated warnings from Trump, who has said he would counter the isolated North Asian country with, quote, "fire and fury," unquote, if it threatened the U.S. Hours after the launch, Trump sounded more restrained, telling reporters Tuesday at the White House that the U.S. will handle the situation. "We will take care of it," the president said, adding later that North Korea is a situation that we can handle, or we will handle, sorry, unquote. Mattis, who was with Trump in the Roosevelt Room of the White House, outlined how much tougher that situation has become. The test missile, he said, went, quote, "higher, frankly, than any previous shot they've taken," unquote, and demonstrates that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un now has the ability to hit, quote, "everywhere in the world," basically. The bottom line is it's a continued effort to build a threat, a ballistic missile threat that endangers world peace, regional peace, and certainly the United States, Mattis concluded. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson strongly condemned the launch and called for redoubled international pressure on Pyongyang, saying that the U.S., quote, "remains committed to finding a peaceful path to denuclearization." But he added a lightly veiled warning about limited U.S. patience. Quote, "diplomatic options remain viable and open for now," Tillerson said. Senator Lindsey Graham, a South Carolina Republican who sits on the Armed Services Committee, told CNN's Wolf Blitzer that, quote, "if we have to go to war to stop this, we will. If there's a war with North Korea, it will be because North Korea brought it on itself, and we're headed to a war if things don't change." And that's the bulk of what's going on right now. So,
yeah, doesn't sound good.
No. I want to hear what China has to say. Let's see if there's anything in here about what China said, if they've said anything about it yet. I don't. I'm just scanning through. If I miss it, I apologize. I don't see anything about like a China representative said anything. So, yeah, I have to imagine there's some back channel stuff or at least private talks going on with China right now.
I'd hope so.
I hope so. Yeah, because I can't imagine this is going to go on much longer without something having to be done or something actually tangible taking place to try to stop this before it gets any worse.
I forgot to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go do that.
Oh, okay.
Back. Sorry.
Well, I don't apologize to me. Apologize to your bladder.
Ew.
Oh, you're still here. Oh, I thought you had
She's
left.
peeing on stream.
Peeing on stream. You're funny. Yeah. So, okay. How much? When do you think World War III is going to start? And I mean World War III in the general sense of just us taking military action against North Korea. How long of a clock do you think we have left? What range in months do you think there is until this actually happens?
If things keep going the way they are, maybe 6.
Yeah,
and that's being generous.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, so to speak, and say 3 months. Somewhere in the next 3 months, something will be done militarily. I don't think Trump is one to wait, and they're obviously not going to stop. So 6 months gives them more time to prepare for other things to do, and I think the sooner it happens, at least in the minds of probably most military people, the better. So I think
sure.
Within 3 months, at least by the end of before the end of say February, it'll be something will have happened. Don't know what exactly or to what extent, but something. Let's see. Base Mama says, "I don't think anything will happen."
I think Trump is the kind of person that something is going to. There will be a response here.
Yeah. Well, let me back up. I think it'll be sometime within 3 months. Military action will take place. It might not come from us, China may step in and do something tangible, but yeah, I mean, it all depends on the politics of things. But something is going to happen to try to disable their efforts, I think, in the next 3 months. That's my guess. Oh, also, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones movies. Smash that like button if you have not already. And if you like what we do, please share it, far, wide, and otherwise. Thank you, Gregory Hurst. World War III, who will be on North Korea's side? Even China won't be. Well, that's the thing, is that North Korea is asking for this. They're not being struck. They're not being threatened, per se. They are doing all of the threatening. So they have few friends left if they do something that ends up, striking land somewhere. Like if one of their missiles goes off course, or if they actually do end up intentionally attacking somebody, they will have no friends on the planet at that point. So Kim Jong-un is slitting his own throat, really.
Do you really think he'd have no friends?
Okay, well, let's game that out. Who would be left? Sorry, what?
I said Iran or at this point, who is it? Yemen that's fighting with Saudi Arabia.
Okay, well,
there are other rogue nations throughout the
sure.
world.
Okay, but let's look at this pragmatically. What could Iran do to help North Korea?
Well, if see that's, I don't know that there's not anything they can do. That's what I'm getting at, because they've been dirty little bastards too.
Well, sure, but I mean, if they're trying to send them supplies or something, we'd have that place pretty much locked down. I mean, nothing could probably get in without us knowing at that point.
Yeah.
So materiel, as far that kind of support would be difficult next to impossible, depending on how they were doing it, I suppose. The only thing they could do, I guess, is just stand in political solidarity. I mean, I don't think like Iran is going to start striking targets at the same time North Korea is under attack to try to divide forces or something. It seems like a suicide pact.
Well, North Korea is on a suicide mission at the moment.
Yeah, and besides, Iran is heavily religious, and North Korea is technically atheist. Technically. So I don't know if they have a like mind to really be on the side of one another. Thank you, Snubbirth. I think they are counting on us to strike first to force China's aid and to establish us as a tyrant nation publicly. Well, they've been establishing us as the great Satan, essentially, for decades now, so that's really nothing new. When they live inside that bubble of theirs of, misinformation and propaganda, it doesn't really matter what goes on inside North Korea. It matters on what goes on outside. And China knows the score, as dedicated as they are to keeping that piece of land to themselves effectively. I don't think China's dumb. It's like, are we really going to stand up and try to defend North Korea against the rest of the planet if they do something stupid?
You're being very logical, and I just don't think this situation is. That's my concern.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm just slave to my own reason.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I hope you're right. I really do.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. We'll see sometime between the next 3 and 6 months. We'll find out. Okay, well, let's move on to something more close to home. It is a Florida man story of a kind, but not a funny one. We haven't followed it too much on the streams, but in the news, there's been a series of shootings down in Tampa, Florida, that have effectively turned into a serial killer at this point.
Oh, wow.
With individuals being shot, and the police apparently have a person of interest who is they believe is in connection with the shooting. So, Tampa police are questioning a person in connection with 4 fatal shootings within a month in the city's Seminole Heights neighborhood, Tampa Police Chief Brian Dugan said Tuesday. Dugan said police were acting on a tip about a man with a gun when they confronted the person at a local McDonald's and confiscated the weapon. Police are interviewing the person at headquarters to learn more about the firearm and any possible connection to the killings. The person is not under arrest or in police custody, Dugan said. That's a fine hair to split, but I'm not going to argue it. The police chief said authorities don't know if the gun was used in the killings. Dugan said the person, quote, might be completely innocent, but added, quote, I'm optimistic on this one, but only time will tell. We have a lot of work to do. Police wouldn't elaborate about why they think the person may be connected to the killings. The 4 seemingly unconnected victims were separated by age, race, and occupation, and each was killed but not robbed while walking alone at night within a half-mile area, police said. Officials have said the killings in October and November are connected in their methodology, leading to fears that a serial killer is on the loose. But officials have said they are not calling the suspect a serial killer. Well, he's gotten more than 3 victims at this point, and he has a method, and he's operating in a particular area. I hate to tell you this, guys, unless these are somehow unconnected and just happen to all have been done similarly by different people, this is pretty much the definition of a serial killer.
You do have a super chat there.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Sanguine. You should know I couldn't not do a research ad. Of course you couldn't. Modern fantasy movie involving Fragarak and Moraltach. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole research part of it, I suppose. All right, Sanguine. I will work on that as well. Okay, got that on the list. Thank you so much. Let's see. So yeah, I just wanted to give that because it has been going on for quite a while now. I don't believe we've covered any of the stories in the interim, but I've been keeping an eye on it because I'm kind of a serial killer buff. Thank you, Dark Alile. Everything is in place. Add the radio ad for the Carnival of Pain. I'll get you the roster for within the next 24 hours. Yes, this is a ad that is a prop for a tabletop role-playing game. I have to be a wrestling announcer who's actually a character in the story, but my only involvement is just being the voice of ads. So I've already got a catchphrase for this cooked up. You know, the announcer guy who goes, "Let's get ready to rumble."
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've got a catchphrase thought up for this. I won't say it on the air. I'll keep it a surprise, but I'll. Now, did you want me to read that on the air as well, Alile, or did you want me to just send you guys a link with the audio? You tell me either way. Okay. Is SDA back or?
I haven't heard her yet.
Okay. All right. How about some congressional sexual misconduct?
Oh, please.
Now, it's not so much that it's new news per se, but it's a new, I guess, twinge to the thing. Former Conyers aide, quote, "Most of us have seen him in his underwear."
What the?
That is a frightening thought.
It is.
A former top communications aide to Democratic Representative John Conyers of Michigan offered a defense of his former boss amid Tuesday growing. How about amid Tuesdays?
Are you on CNN again?
Yes. Oh yeah, we're on CNN. Of course. You know.
That's your fault then.
Amid Tuesday growing allegations of sexual harassment, saying it wasn't uncommon for staffers to accidentally see the congressman in his underwear. One former employee, hold on, we'll get to it. One former employee, Melanie Sloan, came forward with allegations last week, including one instance where Conyers called her to his office when he was in his underwear. Quote, "I was pretty taken aback to see my boss half-dressed," she told the Washington Post. I turned on my heel and I left." Okay. Bob Weiner, who served as Conyers communications director from 94 to 2000, spoke to reporters and photographers, assembled outside of the congressman's office disputing Sloan's allegations. Quote, "Something else that people need to know, his closet is in his office right here. He changes clothes in his office. Most of us have walked in on him accidentally without knocking and have seen him in his underwear. Big deal. That's where his closet is. He changes his clothes there." So to say that somebody came to a meeting and that's how it was, that's an untrue statement. That is the kind of thing that needs to be explored before there's any acceptance to that kind of allegation. Okay.
How often is he in his goddamn underwear, though?
I don't know. Thank you, Kaga. Let's read real quick. Thank you, Kaga Mandoa. Have some cash. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
What did I come back to?
John Conyers.
John Conyers.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Runs around in his office without his pants on because that's where his closet is. I could buy this if, it was a once in a while somebody ran into it, but how often is he in his goddamn underwear in his office?
I don't know. Seems like kind of a weak defense. I wouldn't be changing my clothes in my office, or if I was, I'd lock the door. I mean,
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Heads up, guys. I'm changing.
Yeah, or like do not disturb or something. I don't know. So yeah, there's that new.
I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that sounds like a weak excuse coming from his representative or talker or whatever.
Like at this point, I don't really care. I'm like, did he rape anybody? Rapey or just weird?
At
Weird.
This point, just weird.
Weird and inappropriate, I guess, is the thing.
Yeah, inappropriate and weird. I'm like, whatever. Like, it's weird, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, somebody, fainting couch.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with it if he's not now blatantly lying about it. Sorry, I don't believe that bullshit defense. I mean, if he'd just kept his mouth shut, fine, I wouldn't talk about it. But I'm just always changing when people walk in. That's crap.
That wasn't him talking. That was a former aide of his.
Right.
Yeah. Snubber, thank you so much.
Don't remember that was not planned. That I said you're not going to convince me either that this guy wasn't part of some.
Oh sure, no, he was sent out to talk for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, apparently, staffers accused him of groping.
Yes. Hold on, real quick. Snubber, thank you so much. Remember Casino? Robert took his pants off to prevent wrinkles. Yes, but that was a movie, and Robert De Niro was playing a gangster who killed people or got people killed. So I guess it's not much farther away from a politician these days. Anyway, yeah, Conyers groped and or said inappropriate things and or now wandered his office in his underwear.
Well, if he's groping people, then obviously that's a real issue.
Let's see. Base Mama says, yes, he's a perv. We already all knew that. Yeah, well. Wait, is Gutenberg here? Oh, Gutenberg is here.
Dude, how you doing, bud?
It is Gutenberg. Literally Hitler is in the chat. That's good. Lastly, this one kind of, I'm pretty sure some people sent this to us on MSS News, but it caught my eye, so I thought I'd just read it out real quick. Mother, because I had a question of like, is this appropriate or not? Mother faces felony charge after using recorder to thwart school bullies.
What?
When Sarah Sims' daughter complained she was being bullied in elementary school, the Virginia mother grew concerned. Sims reached out to administrators at Ocean View Elementary School in Norfolk, Virginia, where her daughter is in fourth grade.
I know where that's at.
Sorry, what?
I know where that's at. I've actually been there before.
Okay. But she said she got no response. In September, Sims decided to investigate on her own. She sent her daughter to school with a digital audio recorder in her backpack, hoping to capture audio from the classroom. School officials found out and confiscated the device, which had been in her daughter's desk recording the school day. Now Sims, who is herself a student at Virginia's Norfolk State University, is in trouble with the law. Earlier this month, Norfolk police charged Sims with a felony, intercepting wire, electronic, or oral communications, and with a misdemeanor, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Also, CNN, you might want to put a period at the end of your sentences. Just a thought. Quote, I'm a full-time student, so I don't always get the opportunity to be on the premises, and I thought that this would be a good way for me to learn the environment, Sims 47 told CNN's Don Lemon on Monday. What? Learn the environment. Oh, with the recording? Okay. She faces up to 5 years in prison if convicted of the felony charge. Okay, so she was recording people without their knowledge or consent, which is a crime.
Okay.
Should she face 5 years for it?
That seems overkill.
Well, should she be charged in the first place?
She's trying to protect her daughter here.
Yeah.
I think she should get a slap on the hand, something, don't do that. That was wrong. Because we're talking about school bullies. These are little kids you're recording here.
Yeah, I mean, but we're also not talking about like something really, like something that's really, violating somebody's privacy either.
Technically she was, sort of.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really.
Thank you, Peter Hades, or the Peter. No message, but thank you so much. Base Mama asks, hey, SDA, have you tried a creme brulee latte?
I was just going to reply to that. I have not. Are they at Starbucks? I'm going to try that. Oh my God. That sounds like
Oh my
literally
God.
Oh
like
my God.
heaven in a cup.
Like,
Oh my God. I want, shut up, Scribe. I want one. I'm going to have to go get one. Like right now.
Oh my God.
Starbucks is closed. I can't get one right now, but I'm going to get one.
Let's see. The police haven't actually released a criminal complaint yet. I have a feeling she's going to be let off with a warning ultimately. I don't think, or something really minor. Something minor, because obviously her intention was not malicious. She wasn't trying to spy on people per se. Her intention was to, I mean, if there's a record of her having contacted the administration over her daughter's complaints and nothing happened, and she felt she had no other recourse, this doesn't make it right, but it also doesn't make it malicious. And I think that's really the metric here. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I have to get some sleep for work tonight. Have a great stream, and I'll catch it later tonight. Add legal thriller where the entire cast are dogs.
Lawyer dog.
Lawyer dog. Yep, it's going to be Lawyer Dog the movie. Nope. Thank you. Virginia is one-party consent. Why is this an issue?
Oh, Virginia is.
Well, so if the daughter consented, then... wait, one-party consent. Does that mean just the person doing it has to consent because they're the one enacting it? Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting notion.
I mean, if that's, I would have to double check, but
you know what? We should give that case to Lawyer Dog.
Well, that was when you listed what she was charged with. She wasn't charged with recording without consent, was she?
Intercepting wire, electronic, or oral communications. Let me see if that.
So they're basically charging her with wiretapping.
Yeah. It actually gives a link to the code of Virginia. Let's see. Intentionally intercepts, endeavors to intercept, or procures any other person to intercept or endeavor to intercept any wire, electronic, or oral communication. And then goes into a bunch of fine tunings of it.
So I guess planning to record it so that you have a record.
Oh, here's the thing. It shall not be a criminal offense under this chapter for a person to intercept a wire, electronic, or oral communication where such person is a party to the communication, or one of the parties to the communication has given prior consent to such interception.
Yeah, so this shouldn't even be a fucking issue.
Yeah, so if the daughter knew about it and was okay with it, then... Yeah, I mean, if this lady has a lawyer, she's got an out right there, unless they can prove something otherwise. So, anyway.
I'm with. I'm sorry, I forgot who said that. I'm with you. That this isn't a fucking issue.
Yeah.
That
was nope. Yeah, I got nope, and Johnny Hellcat.
Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. So if he has something he'd like me to say.
Sorry.
I just don't understand why this woman would be charged with anything.
Yeah, it seems like an overreaction, and especially that seems pretty clear in the law. I mean, unless they're going to say, and I could see them make this argument that her child is not old enough to provide consent,
or that
that's what Mama's saying in chat.
Yeah,
she wasn't the one recording it; she had her daughter do it.
Right. That's the delinquency of the minor thing. Is she used her daughter in the furtherance of a crime, and her daughter can't consent one way or the other.
But that wouldn't work either, because she wouldn't be using her daughter in the furtherance of a crime, because her involvement in it wouldn't have been a crime. See what I'm saying?
Well, that's the delinquency of the minor thing. The mother's act was putting the recorder into a place that would record others surreptitiously. Having her daughter participate in that act is a misdemeanor on the mother, not on the daughter. That makes sense?
I see what you're saying. I do.
Yeah, I can see the chain of legal logic. At the same time, I would be surprised if anything more than a warning or a fine or something comes this lady's way. So
yeah, I don't think she should get in any trouble for this. No major trouble. She should, like I said, slap on the hand.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. We understand why you did it, but don't do that.
Especially with anti-bullying culture being what it is right now, her intentions were pure, let's say. And even setting aside the overreaction, pearl clutching, won't somebody think of the children kind of stuff. If you tried to go through proper channels and your daughter's still having a bad time and you can't do anything about it, not necessarily the best choice, but I could understand why she would take that step.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
To get some proof to take to the administration that something's going on. But anyway, do you guys know of anything else that's major, or should I just move on to MSS News?
I don't know of anything.
I think we can move on to MSS News.
Okay, guys, everybody in chat, if you have news stories you'd like us to take a look at over the course of the stream, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but we'll definitely take a look. And let me scroll down to where yesterday's ended so I can find the new stuff. Oh boy, lots of people have sent us stuff today. I see a lot of thumbnails of Angela Lansbury. We'll get to that here sooner or later. Wow. I have to go a long way down to get to where we were. Okay, there we go. We saw that one. We talked about that one yesterday. Oh, here we go. Okay, this one comes from Joel McLaughlin. What do we have here? Woman spreading. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Feminists seek to combat man-spreading by taking up more room. So two wrongs make a right is the theory here.
Utter bullshit means we can be fucking cunts. That's what it is.
For years, feminists have claimed that manspreading is the greatest scourge to face us in our time. This also comes from the Daily Wire, by the way. It is a veritable epidemic facing patrons of public transportation or any public seating arrangement where men are able to sit with their knees apart, thus occupying extra space. Now they're proposing turning a cold war against men's knees into a hot war by engaging in women spreading in response. According to a writer, sorry.
No, keep going. I'm sorry.
According to a writer in The Guardian, men are able to exert their patriarchy all over public seating because their parents never stressed a limit to their toxic masculinity by forcing them to keep their knees together when taking a rest.
We don't put our knees together because we have balls, for fuck's sake. Oh, God.
Okay, I'm going to take the they gave a link to the Guardian article. I'm going to put this into chat for both chat's reference and anybody else who might think to do a video on that, because that's pretty funny. Women, however, have long been taught to keep our knees together or lock our ankles so as to preserve a sense of modesty when we take a seated position in a skirt. Yes. Do you want someone to look up your skirt? Go ahead. If a guy was wearing a kilt and he wasn't trying to get arrested, he also would probably keep his knees together.
Real quick, that's coming up 404 error.
Is it?
It's for me.
Oh, weird. Okay, well, let me try.
Yeah, see, there you go, Jack Cochran. That would be my, if I see some bitch doing this, what I would do, honestly, is I would start talking about how I smelled fish.
For that one.
I would start talking about how your cooter stinks.
Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Feminists need to try to take up more room. Oh! Burn.
No, I'm getting the same error.
Really? Okay, well, let me try giving you the link to the article I'm reading from, because the link to the Guardian article is contained therein. This is really weird. What happens when you click on that?
Well, let's see. That one came up, page not found too.
What? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not doing anything. I'm giving
the try to DM it to me.
Okay, yeah, I'm giving the link exactly as it is posted in the web page. I'm not giving like some kind of Google, bounce link or something. That's really weird. Here, try that there and tell me what you find. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, that worked.
Okay, that's really weird. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's okay. The article doesn't really go on much further from there, but okay, yeah, fighting fire with fire. Spreading your knees to prevent other people from spreading their knees, which is just the problem. Yes. Okay, we talked about that.
Okay, everybody. I tried sending it out too. What I'm going to do, guys, I will tweet it out too, so that.
Okay, I don't know what's going on there. I did nothing different than paste the link into the chat. Thank you, Sanguine. I either have to sit with my legs apart, or you have to deal with me plunging my hand into my pants to lift my balls.
Yeah.
Apparently, the latter is preferable, according to all of this.
Well, this is we saw this in the one BuzzFeed video where the woman was talking about, I don't have to stand with my arms far apart because of my boobs. Your boobs are actually, you have your whole chest that separates your arms. Your legs are literally right together, and our nuts hang right there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do. I mean, I try not to take up too much space. I keep my legs as close as I can without hurting myself or being uncomfortable. But
I'll also remind that breasts in general do not have the same kinds or amount of nerve endings in them as testicles do.
yeah, if somebody accidentally pokes your titty, it's not going to hurt too bad. Try that with a nut and see what happens.
Yeah, if somebody throws an elbow into the between your legs as a guy, you're in much more trouble than somebody bumping you into your breast. Just stay tight. Especially Base Mama, because she's got much more padding there. Ball bras, says Base Mama. Yeah. Oh, isn't that what Borat wore? Basically, the mankini thing. Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Let's see. This one comes from the motherfucking Jack Cochran. It's a short one. Drug suspect's last name surprises judge. Okay, you're not even able to guess what this guy's last name is, but I'll read the story and we'll get to it. The judge did a double take, and there were giggles aplenty in bond court Wednesday when a bailiff announced the name of a man arrested for drug possession. Edward Cocaine.
Nice.
What? Uttered a stunned county judge John J. Hurley. My last name is Cocaine, proudly stated the man at the podium. His name was indeed legal and inscribed on his driver's license. Quote, you know, I thought I'd seen it all, Hurley laughed, shaking his head. How many times have the police told you to step out of the car during your life? Just about every time I get pulled over, a chuckling Cocaine admitted. The 34-year-old Fort Lauderdale man, so this is a Florida man, arrested Tuesday in Pembroke Pines, explained how he got his name. Quote, my great-grandparents came over here from Greece and they changed it, he said. That was like in the 1920s. The judge remained nonplussed. I'm still trying to absorb this, he said. But Hurley released Cocaine on his own recognizance. And the drug he's accused of possessing? Xanax. That's great.
At least it wasn't Coke.
That's great. Thank you for that one, Jack Cochran. I could use a laugh. What do we have? Let's see. What's this, Grace? Looking for something funny or weird. Oh, yeah, let's get to Angela Lansbury. Several people sent us this one. This one in particular comes from Dax.
I saw people were talking about her. I have no idea why.
Well, here we go. Backlash as Angela Lansbury says women, quote, must sometimes take blame for sexual harassment.
Yes.
The veteran actress says their desire to look attractive has backfired as she wades in on scandal that has rocked Hollywood. Dame Angela Lansbury believes women, quote, must sometimes take blame in sexual misconduct cases. The veteran star, 92 years old, claimed women's desire to make themselves attractive had backfired on us. But speaking in the wake of the sexual harassment scandal engulfing Hollywood and Westminster, I wasn't aware it was engulfing Westminster as well, she said inappropriate behavior had to stop. Lansbury said, quote, we have to own up to the fact women, since time immemorial, have gone out of their way to make themselves attractive. And unfortunately, it has backfired on us, and this is where we are today. We must sometimes take blame. Although it's awful to say we can't make ourselves look as attractive as possible without being knocked down and raped. And she told the Radio Times, quote, should women be prepared for this? No, they shouldn't have to be. There's no excuse for that, she added. I think it will stop now. It will have to. Excuse me. Lansbury's words have sparked a fierce backlash on social media today. Because yeah, this is all victim blaming and yeah, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Yeah, that's then they list a whole bunch of tweeters that are offended by this. So there you go.
How dare she?
How dare she say something that might be somewhat true in some cases? If you don't want, I mean, this goes back to the whole thing of redefining what sexual harassment is. Does somebody compliment you on your appearance, or a guy like notices that you have your cleavage hanging out? That's not sexual harassment. And you know, if that was what if you're trying to get attention and you get attention, now that does not obviously justify actual assault or attack or rape or anything, but this is this wavering definition of what you classify as harassment or sexual. I mean, if saying something is sexual assault now, then anything can be considered sexual assault.
Yeah.
or the male gaze or whatever.
Not the gays.
Base Mama says, "Hey, in Islam, rape is always the woman's fault. Stop appropriating Islamic culture." Murder She Wrote. Jesus. Yeah, Angela Lansbury, you jerk. Oh man. Let's see. Okay, we talked about North Korea.
Well, let's go back to that for just a minute.
Sure.
Because I have seen this where two guys can act exactly the same way, and for one of them it's sexual harassment because the other one, or because he's not too attractive, where the more attractive guy doing the exact same behavior, that's not sexual harassment because, well, he's cute enough to get away with it. I've literally been in that situation. I had to talk to somebody for doing the exact same behavior I had been doing, but I'm cute and charming and he was fucking weird. You can't blame guys for that. You really can't. Women need to make up their mind. Either something is sexual harassment for everybody or it's not for anyone. And this goes with what Angela's saying there is women are wanting that attention. The problem is they only want it from, that cute guy, the guy who's funny, or, they want to comment on their boobies. So I'm really with her on this one. I really, really am.
Let's see. I'm scrolling up. Let's see. Raymond Lewis also sent us that one. There was something here that caught my eye, and I'm trying to find it again. Okay. Okay. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Rick Scott consultant denies he used ice penis to hump mannequin.
What now?
And the problem for this guy is there's a photograph of him doing it, if that is like a problem. Joshua Cooper, a Tallahassee political consultant, paid more than $500,000 by Florida Governor Rick Scott to dig up dirt on Scott's enemies over the years, swears the photo above was simply a snapshot taken at an unfortunate angle. Cooper is adamant the photo absolutely does not show him holding an ice penis next to a mannequin's groin.
Do you have the picture?
Well, I have the link. I don't know if it's going to work if I put it in chat, but let's find out. Does this one also bring you to a 404?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Find a link to something and put it in the chat. I want to see if it happens for me too. Is this something that like YouTube's doing now? They're like nixing any links going out from chat.
It's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah. Just.
I'm gonna go find just a random story somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, it could be YouTube, could be Google that they're trying to prevent linking out of a chat now, which is kind of, well, I mean, I could see the argument for it depending on who's posting what at what time, but.
We'll just go with an easy one. We'll just do CNN.com.
Sure. Put that in there and see what happens.
If that works, we'll try.
CNN.com gets me to, it could be you or it could be us, but there's no page here. Yep, they're scrambling.
Great.
They're scrambling URLs, guys. So guys, apparently no longer can, we can no longer put links into chat for you guys to look at. So I will read the title of the story and you can try to look it up yourself. So yeah, Rick Scott consultant denies he used ice penis to hump mannequin. I'll send the link to Monkey and SDA in our DM so they can at least take a look at the picture. I want to read this guy's explanation for this. It is not at all what it looks like, says Cooper, who spends his spare time as a semi-professional barbecue chef. Well, I guess if you get paid $500,000 to just get dirt on people, you can spend your time being a professional barbecue chef. And insists he was simply throwing away a large slab of ice while cooking in a Memphis competition. Someone took a snapshot at exactly the wrong moment and posted the photo online. He says, making an accidental sexual tableau with the female mannequin. I don't know. And even if that was what he's doing, I don't care. As though that means something if he was doing that. It's, jeez. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, why is that a fucking story?
I don't know. I thought there was something more to it, but Now this is a fucking story, and I think what. Let's see. Well, we might end on this. I've got a couple I pulled out for deep topic later, but this one comes from also the motherfucking Jack Cochran. Oh boy. Man accidentally kills himself after taking the pin out of a grenade and then posing to take a photo with it.
Dumbass.
This is now I'm not going to share the link. It does have a a very suggestively awful photograph of what happened to this guy.
Can I see it? I want to see it.
You can't share the link anyway.
Yeah, I can't share the link anyway. I will put it in the DMs, but yeah, I mean, they've digitized it out in this instance. But I'm sure if you go on the internet and do some searching for this guy's name, you can find it yourself. A Russian man has died after posing for a picture with a hand grenade after taking the pin out. Alexander Sasha Shekik had sent an image to his friend showing himself holding the grenade moments before it detonated, killing him instantly. Police say that he had sent several images to friends where he posed with the hand grenade, and that this indicates that he had not intended to take his own life. Well, I'm pretty sure that's the case. A graphic profile picture shows the appalling police picture, not profile picture. That'd be silly, but a police picture shows the appalling carnage. Moments later, one friend had messaged him, "Where are you? Are you okay?" He replied, "Depends on what okay is in your understanding." He sent a picture of the grenade in his hand with the pin removed. A friend told him, "Listen, don't do stupid things. Where are you?" Police said they believe Mr. Chechnik expected the grenade would not explode as long as he didn't throw it.
What?
Well, the grenade I'm looking at, I mean, if he holds down the clip, that should prevent the grenade from igniting, but obviously he didn't. And I don't know this type of grenade. It looks like he's holding down the, I mean, whatever the official name of the part of the grenade is, the clip. I just call it the clip. But this type of grenade, I don't know how it functions. He had also sent pictures to other friends. Police have categorized his death as an accident, not a suicide. Yeah, well, yeah, but his lower half of his body is gone, basically, and hamburger. So
it was a stupicide.
Yes, it was a stupicide.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Like, you just died of stupid.
Thank you, Base Mama. Don't forget to tip your favorite stream fags. I appreciate that. Wait. Are you insulting me? Wait. No, wait. I'm taking money to insult myself. Thank you so much, Base Mama. Let's see. Do we want to do one more, or how much YouTube stuff you guys done today?
I haven't done anything.
Nothing. SDA.
Nothing.
Okay. Well, we'll do a couple more then to take up till because we have a lot of news. People said thank you so much, guys, for sending us so many stories. You really do help keep things moving here.
All the pictures are all blurred out.
Like I say, if you're really industrious, you can probably find the unblurred pictures.
Yeah, you know, maybe I don't want to know.
Lazy. I know.
I kind of don't want to see it. I don't know. Like, is his entire lower half just blown to bits?
I think that's probably what's going on there.
I'm like, but the rest of him seems pretty all right.
Well, yeah, it depends. I mean, if it dropped down between his legs or something, I don't know. Who knows? Okay, this one comes again from senior staff reporter Colleen Bernier, although it is not a Florida story as far as I can tell. One arrested after man injured in fight over shrimp. Oh, wait, no. It is a Florida man story, but it didn't happen in Florida. It's a Florida man in Idaho. Rexburg, Idaho. A Florida man was arrested on a felony battery charge after he allegedly got into a fight with a man over shrimp. Robert Craven, 41, was staying at Motel 6 on 12th West in Rexburg with colleagues when the altercation occurred on November 25th. Quote, the argument started over dinner. The victim said Craven got upset with him for taking too many shrimp. They went out into the parking lot and the fight progressed. Craven is accused of pushing, hitting, and punching the victim several times. At one point, the victim told police he saw Tweety birds after being hit in the head. Jesus. The victim, who is also from Florida, went to the hospital, and Lewis says doctors needed to use several staples on his head. Oh, boy.
People from Florida should not be allowed outside of Florida.
Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Sorry, what?
I said people from Florida should not be allowed outside of Florida. it's not safe for the rest of us.
Well, the spirit of Florida man can go everywhere because he's like Freddy Krueger. He's ethereal.
No, he needs to keep his ass in Florida.
Okay. Gregory Hurst, thank you. Had time to set it as his profile pic. Impressive. No, I misspoke. It wasn't profile. It was police. Because as he was talking about tweeting and texting these images to people, for whatever reason my brain saw police and I read profile. But it's not. That would be funny if it was profile pic. Here's a profile pic of me with my lower half blown off.
With the way he's laying, it is kind of a profile pic.
Ha 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 ha. Monkey's funny. Monkey's funny. What else do we have? Oh, here we go. One more Florida man story from Colleen Bernier. Man accidentally shoots himself in a road rage incident. A man involved in a road rage incident shot himself accidentally, according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Authorities said 2 people stopped near Adela Avenue and Science Drive in Orlando, got out of their vehicles, and began to argue. Deputies said one of the men pulled out a gun because he felt threatened and accidentally shot himself in the leg. The man's injuries are not life-threatening. Good. Since the man legally possessed the gun and shot himself, authorities said he likely won't be charged. So it's not a crime to shoot yourself in the leg, I guess, if you're an idiot. Okay, this is one that I posted. Well, no, I want to save that for Deep Topic. No, we got other things for Deep Topic. I just want to talk about this one real quick because it's just such a weird thing for someone to say, and I have to go to the private window because it's Washington Post. They're trying to block me. Okay. This is a quote from the FCC head, the guy who's trying to kill net neutrality.
Oh, yeah.
Quote, Twitter is a part of the problem.
Part of what problem?
Well, let's find out. Ajit Pai, the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, blasted Twitter on Tuesday for what he said was a push to, quote, discriminate, unquote, against conservatives during an aggressive defense of his agency's plan to repeal net neutrality rules. How would repealing net neutrality stop Twitter from banning people they don't agree with?
Good question, because I've seen people making the argument that we don't need to have net neutrality because of something to do with free speech, and that's net neutrality doesn't limit your ability to speak any more than it allows your ability to speak. It has nothing to fucking do with it.
Right.
It's not about individual right to speak. So, please read on, because I'm interested in how they're making this connection.
Speaking during an event hosted by the R Street Institute, a conservative think tank, Pai accused Twitter of hypocrisy for its criticism of the FCC's plan to repeal the Obama-era regulation. Quote, when it comes to a free and open internet, Twitter is a part of the problem, Pai said. The company has a viewpoint and uses that viewpoint to discriminate. It's a private company, and if you take away the regulations that protect users, this is me talking now, not the article, but yeah, those regulations are there to prevent companies from doing things like what Twitter is doing and charging for it and moderating it more and more and more. I mean, Twitter's not the internet. Twitter is one platform. ISPs will be able to do what Twitter is doing on a much shadier scale if you take away these regulations, Mr. Pai.
Yeah, this is some bullshit trying to make it that it's not.
Yeah, he's trying to make a private company's decision a example of the problem with internet net neutrality, which is bass-ackwards to the nth degree. Twitter, Google, and Facebook have been vocal opponents of the FCC's proposal to repeal net neutrality, joining others who say the repeal will harm the flow of information on the internet. On the other side, internet service providers such as AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon have supported the FCC's push, which it says will allow the internet to return to the free market environment it was created in. It's gone beyond that, guys. It's a public utility. This isn't some niche product anymore. It's not just for elite people or something. It's not speedboats. It's telephone lines. It's the regular course of business for every person on the planet that has a cell phone. I don't know why they keep pushing this because, well, I know why they're pushing it, for more profits and for more control and to make more money and everything else, but Yeah, that's not what it is anymore. And that really needs someone with some influence needs to stand up and make that case, in a really, really broad way. I wish some of our representatives I wish our president would do it, honestly. Whoever it was, I wish our president would do that, because that would pretty much put a nail in it as far as I'm concerned. And the FCC shouldn't be the ones to do this anyway. That's just
Well, the FCC gets to do it because of those phone lines, and how it doesn't qualify as a public utility is beyond me, considering those are the lines that are used.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to save that one for deep topic possibilities. But anyway, it's about the top of the hour, guys. So let's talk YouTube stuff. SDA, are you working on anything, even if you don't have anything out right now?
Yeah, I am working on something. It's going to be a pretty long video responding to the Amos Lee thing that most people have responded to. I just didn't have a chance to do it last week because I was out of town. But hopefully in the next couple of days, that'll finally be out.
Okay. Monkey, you got anything you're in the hopper?
I hadn't, but I think I might take a crack at women spreading.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought, this sounds like a Monkey article to me.
Yeah, I might have some, because the last one was rather serious. It'd be fun to do just a silly one.
Let's see. Brunei Strongbear says, but the ISPs have no history of discrimination, so why do we need government regulations to stop people from doing things they haven't done, Scribe Light? To prevent them from doing it.
They haven't done it because we've always had the regulation.
I mean, why do we need laws to stop people, to inhibit people from stealing or murdering or buying nuclear weapons? I mean, they haven't done it yet, so why do we need a law against it? Yeah. I mean, unless you're being facetious there. I don't know what to say. Let's see. I'm working on a couple of things, in the sense that I'm an intellectual masochist, apparently. So my regular viewers will know this. I have a tendency to take on relatively long videos.
Yes, you do.
The problem is that the kind of stuff that attracts my interest and or ire usually comes from panel discussions or long speeches or stuff like that. So I like today, I came across another panel speech where you've got four men, I guess they're professional businessmen, at a women's conference being asked about how important men's role is in gender equality. And one of the first things the lady who's the moderator says to them, she looks at these four guys and says, "How does it feel to be a minority?" When the guy immediately to her left is an Asian man. I'm just like, I just lost it. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But it's like an hour and a half long. So what I have to do is I have to watch the whole thing, right? And then Chink cuts in and says, right. Every time I say right now, in my mind, Chink appears and says, right.
I thought you said chink right after you said Asian.
No,
man.
no,
Like, wow, that's
you
inappropriate.
Racist. You unconscious,
that was all
biased
Scribe.
racist.
Scribe accidentally, he meant chink, but he's so racist just on a cellular level that he said chink instead.
Chink.
Brunei Strongbear says, not being facetious, Scribe Light, I'm genuinely against net neutrality because I'm against big government intervention and for a smaller government. Okay, well then let's take a step back 50, 60 years or whatever, and all the phone lines have to be privatized. I mean, the idea of allowing for a massive, common, ubiquitous means of communication to become a public utility, the argument now is no different than the argument then for breaking up Ma Bell. That's the same spirit of it. So,
yeah. Sorry.
Look back to the circumstances surrounding the breakup of Ma Bell into the Baby Bells and the process of turning the phone lines and phone grid of this country into a public utility. The same problems that would have existed if you had maintained it as a private enterprise is the issue now. That's the best analogy I can come up with.
Well, and as somebody who is also for smaller government, sometimes, you need government intervention. which is why you have a small and limited government. But they need to intervene sometimes, and I think this is a place where they need to intervene, because I think that equality of opportunity is incredibly important. And Lord knows CNN doesn't need any more advantages.
Well, as a small government guy, I will happily tell you that there's still time. That small government doesn't mean no government.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know,
and
there
the thing
are
is,
times where we need government intervention.
Yeah, the internet is the playing field that allows for the free market of ideas and commerce and everything else without there being a tiered, obstacles into getting your voice heard. Taking the current regulations away allows the ISPs to own the landscape and decide, even if they have to be transparent about it. And I put transparent in quotation marks because, credit card companies have to be transparent about their terms of use and everything else. But transparency only equates to tiny print on the back of some sheet they send you once every 3 months. So I don't trust corporations whose only intent is to make a profit in allowing the rest of us peons the ability to operate independently of their decision-making power.
Yeah, and the other thing is Comcast, I mean, come on. Comcast is raping you enough. Let's be honest. Fuck Comcast, and now Comcast is going to have so much more power over you than they already do. Nobody wants that.
Prospero says, break up Google as a monopoly then, Scribe Light. I don't have to. Several governments are already taking Google up on monopoly charges and harming the market and everything else. And Google is even, they created Alphabet as a umbrella company for everything. And if they eventually split off some of their smaller interests into their own things, nothing of what is happening today is fundamentally any different than stuff that has happened in the past with Ma Bell. Just look into the history of what happened with Ma Bell and the phone companies and the phone grid.
See, I would disagree with that on this level.
Okay.
No, listen, hear me out. Back then, it was literally just voice communications with people you knew. This is the regulation of the internet where whatever you think about Google, Google doesn't stop you from going to any other site or slow you down if you look up a site through Google and then go there, say a competitor to YouTube, whatever it might be.
True.
It's still similar in theory, but it is on a much bigger scale. I mean, the internet right now literally brings anything you want to your fingertips, and they're talking about companies being able to limit that because they have special deals with other companies. Again, whatever you think about Google, they're not limiting what else you can do. If you want to use Bing, knock yourself out. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. You're not getting throttled because you search through Google and go to a non-Google site, which is what we're talking about with these ISPs and net neutrality. It's not just about free speech and being able to call your mom with the lower rates, which was what a lot of what the Ma Bell thing was the monopoly of it all. This is about open communications and people literally being able to pay to stop you from being able to go where you want to. Like we talked about this the other night. Where I live, I literally have no other choice for internet except the provider I use. And if they decided to make it where going to YouTube would be throttled way the fuck down, I would be screwed. I would have no recourse. And so I see what you're saying about looking up the history of it, and I do agree with it in part, but this is so much bigger.
Well, I guess I misspoke. I didn't mean to say that Google is an example of like Ma Bell. I didn't.
No.
If I drew that connection, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm just talking about in spirit the same kinds of risks to not only consumer freedom, but I mean, yes, the internet is far more than just being able to talk to each other now. It is the bedrock of all of our commerce, all of our communications, all of our information sharing, all of our information storage. If you're talking about the cloud and everything else, I mean, it's just it's beyond and beyond. And I think part of the problem is that people still don't quite grok, and I'm using I don't use grok that often, but I'll use it in this case, that, intangible things now are just as important as tangible things. The regulation of electrons is kind of an abstract concept to a lot of us. But if we stop for a second and think about it, it's like if, four corporations control whether or not you're going to be able to see certain things or say certain things, or, the guy at the FCC is talking about, oh, Twitter, Twitter's being bad. And this is an example of how net neutrality is bad, is because Twitter is restricting people's access to say things. Well, what happens when Comcast decides that, websites or businesses that promote a political perspective they don't agree with shouldn't be given as much attention? What happens when, like YouTube is doing right now, if there's a video or a channel or something that they feel is not conducive to their personal scruples? Well, maybe they won't destroy it, but they will not allow it to be advertised. It won't show up in any trending things. Not that it's the best example in the world, but drama alert. Keemstar, not too long ago, he posted a video showing how immediately as he posted a video, it got demonetized. It got 1.5 million views within like 12 hours or something. And yet it wasn't showing up anywhere to be advertised or promoted or at all on YouTube. When that 1.5 million views could have gotten, YouTube a whole bunch of ad revenue and God knows what else. They're shooting yourself in the foot because you want to have an ideological slant on things. YouTube's doing that to their content. Nothing says, in the absence of net neutrality, that Comcast can't do that to their trunk of the internet at large. So that's really the issue there. Anyway, didn't mean to go technically off on all that, but so otherwise, do we have any other YouTube drama or anything to talk about? Anybody having a fight on YouTube lately?
I mean, I was told that Tree of Logic kind of featured me in a video today, but I haven't had any time to watch it or give a shit. So I'm not really sure.
This would be what was the girl's name from 17 or whatever, Vogue?
Lily Mead? Yeah,
so this would be like the second time you've become someone's like nemesis.
I don't see it that way. I mean, I see Tree of Logic as a really dishonest, kind of a not nice person who decided to accuse me of supporting pedophiles, which is really fucked up. So I would say that I don't have any personal beef, but that's not true. I really have a problem with people who would accuse me of being a pedophile for no real good reason. But other than that, that's kind of it. So I don't know if that's enough to say like nemesis.
Well, I mean, it's something I thankfully, and I'm not asking for it, I haven't experienced it, but like monkeys had arguments and or I don't know, animosities between particular other YouTubers and that kind of thing. This is kind of a weird question, I guess, but maybe it's a precursor to a deeper topic. But what's that like, having someone go to so much effort to
defame you and make shit up?
Well, okay,
it's annoying, honestly, like more than anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't take disagreements personally. I mean, we're all sitting here talking about political viewpoints. We're not going to agree on everything, and that's like just what we do day in and day out, is think about politics and chit chat about it. So somebody disagreeing with me doesn't bother me. But yeah, having somebody make something like that up, like that you support pedophiles, is it's almost disturbing. Because Lily Mead also did something similar where she implied that I thought it was funny that when Black people got murdered by police officers. And it's just disturbing more than anything that somebody would just make that up for no good reason, I guess.
Thank you, Kingslayer Damocles. I'm not usually able to stop in live. Love you guys. Thank you, Kingslayer. Appreciate
thanks.
It. Love you back.
Love you too. Yeah, I have been, not through YouTube, but in my real life, I have been horrifically, unjustifiably defamed by people that I knew and trusted. I was my first real life experience in dealing with social justice stuff. It's a long story. I won't tell it right now, but I and a couple of other people were classified as rape apologists because we wouldn't tone police people for telling dirty jokes. And this was done in such a way as anybody. It was done on through social media, for lack of a better phrase, and anybody who didn't know the context of what was being said and who it was coming from, yeah, you get branded with something like that. It kind of sticks, whether or not it's true, when something like that happens. So yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I think in my case, it doesn't stick. I don't think anybody's really on Tree's side.
Yeah.
At least nobody of any significance, because I think anybody can just look at the conversation and go, "Where the fuck did you get pedo supporter from, you simple bitch?" So I don't feel like I've really been defamed. It's still rude, but I don't think my reputation has taken any real kind of hit from it. What do you? I mean, I'm sure you guys would agree with that. I don't think anybody actually thinks that I support pedophiles.
Well, no, I mean the advantage to having a YouTube conflict over a real life conflict is that in the context of YouTube, anything and everything you have to think about stuff is right there on the record to review. I mean, somebody taking some conversation you had in private out of context or something else, that's a harder hill to climb. But Monkey, how's it felt to be either? You know, I remember during Gamergate when I'd see like the YouTubers, whether on whatever side of the argument that we're combating, because their avatars were always like animals or cartoons or like drawings or something. I couldn't help but imagine that it like as like superhero versus supervillains fighting each other in sort of a comic book context.
For me, I just think it's kind of funny. I don't take most of it very seriously, and I don't take much of life very seriously. For me, the more disturbing part of it is how many people watch along and blindly follow, whether they're just taking my side or the other person's side. It's like, you know, it's okay for people to disagree. And to me, that's far more disturbing is the fanboying that goes on rather than me and somebody else arguing. To me, it's just arguing with somebody I disagree with. So it's no different than what I would do anywhere else.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to not look at an established. I mean, whether it's a personality that has a lot of subscribers or it's someone that doesn't, and you feel like you're part of an exclusive little club kind of thing. Not to look at someone as maybe a team unto themselves. You know, that you're part of this little group. I mean, like if anything else, like people who get worked up over characters on soap operas or stuff like that, you sort of, you know, live vicariously, partially through their adventures, and then of course you get sort of protective of that. And some people take it to an extreme that's unhealthy, obviously, but I don't think it's anything new. It just happens to be on YouTube, is the thing.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's just I have trouble with people. It's kind of the whole thing we had last night too, with, you know, not fighting is part of this too. You have people who just can't get over that. Disagreement is not a blood sport. You know what I mean?
Cool mate. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it can be. You can have great shit debates that are just fun to watch. But I mean, like when I did my video about Sargon, so many people were upset by that. What I said, and there's no different than I've said about anyone else, and nobody had a problem with it until I said it about Sargon.
Right.
I guess it's disturbing to me to see how many people just follow instead of actually using their brains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because anybody who's mad about Baron getting banned because of Christie, that was also backing Sargon over Christiosity, is a fucking hypocrite.
Right. Yeah, period. That's the thing. It's, you know, the principle is either a principle or you're just being tribalistic. It's one of the two.
Yeah. And it is disturbing to me to see how, because I know tribalism exists.
Sure.
But man, it's hard to watch it, you know?
Weebo Jones is in the chat. Hello, Weebo. She said beep boop. I guess she's trying out for the role of R2D2. Well, let's see. Let's do a actual deep topic real quick. And if I remember correctly, this was sent to us by the Jack motherfucking Cochran.
Motherfucking Cochran.
If I'm mistaken about that, and this was somebody else, I apologize. But this comes to us from the Very Smart Brothers.
Oh my God.
And would you believe we have another top 10 list?
Oh, I love top 10s.
And it involves race. And Data Wasteland, that story you keep sending on the chat, that's from like January of this year. That's months and months old. I remember hearing about that a long time ago. Black Ivy League student claims trauma after white professor refuses to acknowledge privilege. So, nope. Thank you so much. She is just the right size to be R2D2. Well, thank you for explaining my joke. Nope. I appreciate that. I was trying to be, subtle.
Scribe is being subtle.
To be subtle. Okay, so here's the top 10 from Very Smart Brothers. The top 10 racists ranked.
Ooh.
This is not Star Wars black characters. I mean, I think that still is the greatest top 10 of all time that we've ever done. But let's find out what this is. Okay, and there's some of these have long explanations after them, so I might not read them all, but I'll at least read the first paragraph or so. Number 10. The salesperson that follows you around the store. Is that racism or someone trying to get a commission? That's just me talking. You know the feeling. You've just walked into a fine retail establishment determined to drive yourself further into debt collecting. Into debt. How about comma somewhere? Into debt, collecting more shit than that you don't need. When you get that really strange sensation, somebody's watching you. Really, it's fucked up for two reasons. The first being that it feeds into the idea that vigilante white people have the right and the duty to actively and personally fight crime, but like less Batman and more George Zimmerman.
Well, if they work for the store, it's actually probably their fucking job.
Yeah, it's not the right, it's their duty because they're an employee. This perpetuates the continual cycle of the criminalization of black existence. What if they're black? What if it's a black guy with a job and he's trying to check to see if you need anything or would like to buy something?
No, Scribe, it's just racist.
Okay. The second fucked up thing about it is, well, for a lot of these retail workers / freelance espionage agents, Jesus, they wouldn't be able to shop at the store they're working in if they ain't get the discount themselves. I'm reading it as it's written, folks. If they ain't get the discount themselves. How you gon' check me, boo-boo, when we both using the same 30% off code to cop a polo sweater? Don't act like you fitting to leave this here register and have lunch at the yacht club, motherfucker.
Oh, this is bad.
Wow. Okay, and that's the end of number 10. 9 more to go, guys. Number 9. The person who walks up to you in the store because they think you work there. How are you dressed? If you're dressed nice, it might be a compliment.
He's black. You should know he ain't got no job.
Oh, God.
Sorry. I apologize.
Wow.
You can't just say that.
Pat.
Well, what else are you supposed to think?
Pat, P-Dog, anybody else? Monkey's fair game now. He just did that to himself. No, I do not work here. I simply use the 30% off code I got from the homie. Shout out to the plug to cop this polo sweater. Fuck you for asking. I'm fitting to go have lunch at the yacht club now.
This dude really likes that polo sweater.
And the word fitna. I'm fitting to go. Okay. Number 8.
Great. Now P-Dog and Pat are both mad at me. I'm going to get my ass whipped.
That's right. And especially Pat. Pat is did you see his profile picture? He just updated his profile picture on Twitter, or at least recently. You see that?
I didn't.
Oh man, he is a mountain of man. Pat is. I mean, I already knew that, but that picture really kind of highlights it. I just got to say. Number 8, the person who has a black friend that they always reference to prove they're not racist.
I have seen that picture of Pat. I may have touched myself to it once or twice.
Oh, God. It never fails. You're in the midst of trying to get a white person woke, and they cut you off with the phrase, well, my friend Chris, because it's always Chris, is black. And he said, ... as if Chris is the black people pope and we should all show fealty to his word. Nah. This type of behavior is problematic for several reasons, but most importantly, it attempts to shield the user from the uncomfortable fact that black people are a dynamic entity. Let me read that one again for those in the cheap seats. It attempts to shield the user from the uncomfortable fact that black people are a dynamic entity and that the user probably thinks / feels / does racist shit from time to time and that they're willfully denying. I mean, how do we know Chris really exists or if he's just some imaginary entity like black people? That's me
Real
asking.
quick.
Yes.
My black friend Chris said, "Hey, monkey, I was thinking the same thing."
Gregory Hurst, thank you. Scribe sounds like the old lady in Airplane who speaks jive. I'm doing my best. You know, I mean, that was Beaver Cleaver's mom. I can't quite recreate that, but
For the record, Chris is P-Dog. That's all I'm saying.
oh, did you
P-Dog actually said that.
Did you just
No,
dox
I
P-Dog?
don't know his real name, but Chris is all the black friends. That's what this article just told us.
Jesus
Black
Christ,
people are all
monkey.
named Chris.
Oh, racist doxer over here. Jesus. Okay, number 7.
Pat's real name is Chris.
Oh,
all black people's real name is Chris.
Oh.
I'm getting woke here.
Oh my God. We'll prepare to get woker. Number 7, people who think their appreciation of hip hop means they like black people. You know the type. You just started a new job or moved to a new neighborhood and you meet a new white person. And the first thing they tell you is how much they love Wu-Tang Clan. You never asked them about the Wu-Tang Clan. You never told them about the Wu-Tang Clan. They just assume that because you are black, you enjoy Wu-Tang. And now you'll all have something in common. And now you'll be your friends, which they'll use later when referencing you as their black people pope. So we're clear, it's possible to enjoy black things while still hating black people. That's the American way. Okay. Number 6. Oh, this is number 6. Okay, remember, guys, this is the top 10 racists ranked. Number 6, the Klan.
Wait, the Klan is only number 6?
Surprised to see them ranked so low on the list? Don't be. The KKK is kind of like the Notre Dame football of racism. Yeah, they had their heyday, but their time has passed, and while they might pop up from time to time, they'll never get to relive their past glory.
I could kind of give them that, depending on who they put above them.
True, but if the argument is that this country is ruled by white supremacy, why is the Klan number 6?
Because Donald Trump is number 1.
Oh, that's right. I don't know. You could be right. I haven't gotten through this yet. Number 5.
I haven't seen it, guys. That is my guess.
Okay. Any guesses for number 1, SDA?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe like a complicit white person.
Okay.
SDA should be number 1.
I'm going to guess number 1, the Force. Number 5, this is a short one. Anyone who says their favorite movie is Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell.
My favorite movie is Soul. I like Soul Man. Don't get me wrong; it was funny, but that was a dumbass movie. There's so many better ones.
The only comment to this is fight that person, fight them where they stand. Okay. Number 4, nightclub bouncers. Anytime you hear or see the words discretionary dress code, please know that that's code for no black people.
What?
Nightclubs are like churches in that they're some of the most segregated places in America, and it's the bouncer's job to keep it that way. Even a black bouncer working at a white club will tell you that his job is to keep the number of us low to make everyone else feel safe and comfortable enough to say the N-word while singing along to Nelly's greatest hits.
I'm just going to go out and offer this suggestion. Don't go to that club again. That's a racist fucking club. If the bouncer is actually telling you that, those are his exact words, then yeah, you probably shouldn't be giving that establishment your money.
SDA, did you look at this article?
No, why?
We'll get there. Number 3, Jeff Sessions. I mean, really, you could put all law enforcement right here, but since Jeff Sessions is the country's chief law enforcement agent and he's a virulent racist, he gets to serve as the avatar for the whole fucked up system. Congrats, Jeff. Okay.
Hey, Jeff.
Number 2, gentrifiers. Because who in the fuck moves to a neighborhood because of the culture, then complains about how spicy the culture's food is and how loud the culture's parties are before calling law enforcement on the culture?
For real. Really?
Wow. Okay.
Sorry. That was funny as hell.
And here's the reason why I was asking SDA if she cheated and looked early, because the number 1 racist is complicit white people.
Are you serious? Did I get that right? Well, it's just they get really upset about complicit white people because they're like, the white people not trying hard enough to like be like annoying at Thanksgiving and shit.
Here's the thing that some white people haven't figured out about the Trump era. One day it will be over and we can see them. Like that Facebook post they might have made about kneeling NFL players being ungrateful. We saw that. That time someone said or did some patently racist shit and they didn't say or do anything. We saw that too. We are actively aware of who has been on whose side throughout this entire ordeal, and we're not in the business of forgetting or forgiving the people who have been silent witnesses to our oppression. We're making a list and checking it twice. When this is all over, and like anything that begins, when this is all over,
Negroes are coming,
and like
to town.
And like anything that begins, it will end. It won't be the egregious acts of the few that we will recall. It will be the complicity of the many that we'll remind ourselves of and teach our children about. The truly dangerous people aren't the ones who toss around slurs and exercise their power to inflict our pain. Nope, they're the ones who see it happening and shrug it off because they think it isn't their problem. It's all about choosing the side of history you want to be on.
I just want to clarify something here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say the things I do because I don't think it's my problem. I say the things I do because I don't think it's a problem at all.
Oh, that's worse.
I just want to be clear there.
That's worse.
When I get on that list, I want to be on it for the right reason.
And before we get to chat time, we got a couple minutes. This was one other one I wanted to at least bring up because Vice.com posted this today. And it's brilliant. The headline is, "We asked white people with dreadlocks why."
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And this is written by Sophie Lamberts, whoever that is, from Vice.com. Of all the unpopular white people fashion choices floating around in 2017, dreadlocks is definitely a key one of them. Oh, yes, I see so many white people with dreadlocks. No, I don't. But maybe it's just where I live. I don't know. Either because dreads signify unwashed, pot-powered uselessness, or because they're culturally offensive, particularly the latter. So white people go to the trouble of getting themselves dreadlocks in order to offend other people.
Yep, that's exactly why they do it.
So anyone with dreadlocks is pot-powered useless. Oh, sorry, no. Anyone with white skin who has dreadlocks is pot-powered useless.
I'll be right back, you guys.
How great would it be if Jeff Sessions came out with dreadlocks?
Little gray ones. As Miley Cyrus discovered when she mangled the traditional mapuka dance, I don't know what that is, into something called twerking, the traditional mapuka dance.
Wait. Miley invented twerking?
I don't know. Did she? Or when a Victoria's Secret model donned Native American headdress in 2012, or when a whole bunch of Victoria's Secret models donned African beads in 2017, cultural appropriation just isn't acceptable anymore. In fact, it's a very effective way to make people mad. Make people mad. Okay. So how do white people with dreadlocks feel about all this? Do they see their dreads as unwashed or culturally inappropriate? We asked some to find out. Okay.
I hate this article already.
I know. Tasha, 25, has worn dreads for nearly 2 years. And now I'm going to read a short conversation. Vice, hey Tasha. So I've seen heaps of articles like 7 reasons why white people should not wear black hairstyles or dreadlocks are not okay for white people to have, period, on the web. What's your thinking on all of this? Tasha, I have never heard anyone say something like that. Dreadlocks are a hairstyle that has historically spanned cultures from ancient Greece to Egypt, with one of the first depictions of dreadlocks being in images of the Hindu god Shiva. And yes, dreadlocks are popular today in Rastafarian culture, as well as also a very effective way to style Afro hair, but they did not originate from that. If it was created exclusively from their culture, I would understand. But the thing that annoys me most about this comment is that I have spoken to many black people about this issue, and no one has ever had an issue with white people with dreadlocks. In fact, I am also nearly always complimented on my dreads by black people. In my experience, it's only white social justice warriors on the internet looking for a reason to moan who have an issue.
Oh, Tasha.
Boom.
Tasha, kaboom.
Damn.
Okay, so I'm just going to read the first responses from these guys. I'm not going to read all of them because they do have more conversations. Gregory, 25, has had dreads for 8 years. Hey, Gregory, do you ever feel culturally inappropriate wearing dreadlocks? I have never had anyone... Wait, hold on. Let me try this again. Good God. If this is like an email response, then this guy needs to learn how to write. I have never had anyone had a direct issue with my dreadlocks. Ugh. I grew up on the surf coast, swimming in salt water every weekend with curly hair. It's pretty impossible to not get matted hair, so dreadlocks were a very practical solution. This was before I was even old enough to know what Rastafarianism was. I also had no idea that dreadlocks were significant to black people because I just saw them in my everyday life as I grew up on the beach. The only times I have seen this brought up was after those issues with the Indian headdresses. We are in the 21st century and are way past holding on to cultural semantics. I think instead of nitpicking at political correctness, we should be celebrating cultural diversity. So until a black person approaches me with some valid points as to why I'm being insensitive, I'll keep them. Also, I just think comments like dreads are for black people only are the opposite of cultural progression. Good job, Gregory.
These guys have put some thought into this shit.
Katie, 26, has worn dreads for 3 months. Hey, Katie, do you think dreads are for black people? People automatically assume that dreads are part of the Bob Marley Rasta culture, but I think they're a personal choice and not so much to do with culture. They're pretty mainstream now. Basketball players, singers, they all have dreads. Why did you get them? I just wanted dreads since I was a kid, growing up surrounded by surfer girls and guys with blonde dreads and stuff. Dreads are so convenient. You wash your hair once a week, put in a spray, and that's all. Actually, I want to get them longer. Okay. And lastly, at least until we get to chat time, Josh, 21. They don't say about his length of time. Hey, Josh, for how long have you had dreads? For how long have you had dreads?
How long, yo?
Shoulder length.
Okay.
No. How long have you had dreads? Oh, since December last year. Why did you get them? Have you ever seen a person with dreads and it hasn't suited them? No, you haven't. Dreads suits everyone. They're amazing. I love them.
That's cute.
What about Justin Bieber? He looked like a giant mop. I think they suited him really well. Like, seriously. Do you think dreads would suit me with my blasé, pretentious French face? I could actually picture you with dreads and it would look amazing. Seriously. That's the end of the article.
He just sounds like a nice guy.
Oh my God, these evil, evil white people with their horrible, horrible intentions about wearing their hair.
That one guy was so sweet. He's like, nah, everything just looks good on everybody. Like, aw. Somebody give him a cookie.
All right, guys, chat time. It is your time. If you have questions, comments, complaints, answers, mythological theories on why Based Mom is so awesome, by all means, put them into the chat now.
Are you a white person with dreads?
Yeah. Are you a white person with dreads?
But that last guy was just, I don't know. That was really sweet. That warmed my soul.
Let's see, Base Mama says, that's because Rastafarians have dreads for a reason, but I don't remember why. I used to do my boyfriend's dreads. Yeah, I remember there's some, maybe it's just a hazy memory, but wasn't there like some religious or quasi-religious reason for dreadlocks in Rastafarianism? Or some?
I just wanted to look like white people.
Yeah, that's probably it. Jack Cochran says, Predator had dreads. Was he appropriating black culture? Well, when he shot Danny Glover, he sure did. Weebo
Oh, I
Jones
see what you did.
says, yeah, Weebo Jones says, I might rock dreads at some point. You go ahead.
Oh, don't do that to your hair.
Oh, Scribe Light, did you get Nope Nope Super Chat? I may have missed it because, oh, yes. Thank you, Nope Nope. Or when Elizabeth Warren became Native American in 1999 to get a job. Oh, as far as cultural appropriation? Yeah.
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
I still can't believe he said that, like, when he said that.
That was awesome.
That was a mess.
Did they shorten the timer on $5 donations to show up in the highlight? Because
I don't think they did.
Seems like it's gone by way too quick. I apologize. Nope, nope. Let's see. Looking for question marks. What Judge Dredd look good in Dredd? Or would Judge Dredd look good in Dreads? No.
Would who?
Judge Dredd.
Oh.
Judge Dredd doesn't take off his helmet, so it wouldn't matter.
Like he come out of his helmet like NFL players.
Oh, God. Base Mama says, LOL, I used to wear dreads. I can believe it. And you know what? I bet like that last guy said, they look good on you. Irate Prostate says, Rasta dreads are from Leviticus, I think. Oh, okay. Anybody know any more on that one? Weebo Jones says, at what point does grave robbing turn into archaeology? When you're licensed and authorized to do it?
Depends on how old the grave is.
There's that too, I suppose. Well, I mean, yeah.
Depends on if you get caught.
Yeah. Also, are you wearing a fedora and carrying a whip? That's the important part. Let's see. Alec Detmering? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Who has portrayed the Punisher the best so far, Scribe Light? Thomas Jane in the short film Dirty Laundry. You can find it on YouTube. It's like 10 minutes long or something. It's got Thomas Jane and Ron Perlman, and it is thus far the best standalone Punisher film. There are elements to all of the Punisher portrayals that I like, either particular scenes or particular ways of how they did it or whatever else. But the only thing that by itself completely is the best Punisher representation would be Dirty Laundry. So go look that up. Let's see. Weebo Jones says, so you're saying I should wear a fedora and carry a whip? Yes. Whatever turns your boyfriend on. Let's see.
Nice for you to look out for him like that.
Yeah. Well, you're
a good man.
It's a bro thing, though. Scott McKinnon says, Scribe Light and Ranting Monkey. Oh, SDA doesn't count? Okay, fine. What was better, Videodrome starring James Woods or Darkman starring Liam Neeson?
Oh, yeah, SDA doesn't count.
Well, those are two completely different movies. I mean, Cronenberg movies are sort of their own genre. And Sam Raimi's early stuff, Darkman's awesome. I love Darkman. That was the first time I ever really saw Liam Neeson, and he was awesome. Videodrome is an acquired taste. Let's be honest about this. Have you seen Videodrome, Monkey?
I can't say that I have.
Oh, it's an acid trip on celluloid, for God's sake. I mean, it's not like Cronenberg and David Lynch. If you ever want to give yourself like post-traumatic stress disorder in a weekend, watch Eraserhead and Videodrome back to back, and you'll just be all over the place. But yeah, which was better? I like them both for different reasons. Sean Linkus says, if I'm saying that correctly, The Punisher 2004 is worth watching. Yes, we did. Monkey and I did a whole stream talking about Punisher 2004 on Monkey's channel, and you can go find it on there right now if you go look for it. And that was just, what, 2 weekends ago now?
Yes.
And this weekend, on my channel, we'll be talking about The Hunt for Red October, the best movie ever made. And then starting next weekend, because this kind of overlaps with November, but starting in December, we're going to try to do Christmas movies over the course of the month.
And don't come looking for like, Miracle on 34th Street. We're talking Die Hard.
Yeah, Gremlins.
Yeah. Real
Bloodwing,
Christmas movies.
Bloodwing says, or watch Naked Lunch, Scribe Light. Yes, Naked Lunch is another... God, that movie's... Yeah, that is an acid trip on celluloid. Peter Weller was crazy in that. I mean, that's it. Peter Weller, it was like the first time I'd seen him not RoboCop. Because the first time I ever saw Peter Weller was RoboCop. Next time I saw him was Naked Lunch, and I just didn't understand what the hell happened to the world. Let's see. Base Mama says, which is better, The Last Starfighter or Starman? Oh,
Ooh, that's a rough one.
that is a tough
That's a
one.
good question.
John Carpenter did Starman, one of the few movies he did that wasn't an out and out horror movie, and Last Starfighter is such a sort of, if you just take Luke Skywalker as the story and turn him into a video game character.
I'm gonna go with Starman just because it was a better emotional story.
Yeah, as far as a film is concerned, it was a better movie. Let's put it that way. Both are enjoyable for many different reasons, but yeah, Starman is the better movie. Let's put it that way. Jack Cochran says Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. That is one of the greatest MST3K episodes ever. If you can find the MST3K episode of the Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, you're into bust a gut. Prospero 58 says, good God, I'm old. Hunt for Red October is the best movie ever made. Jesus, hasn't anyone seen a movie made before the 1980s like Casablanca? Sorry, Sean Connery playing a Russian sub-captain is just, it beats everything.
For the record, Casablanca is one of my favorite movies ever.
It's actually, I believe it turned 75 like today or this month or something. So yeah, it's been 75 years since that sucker came out. I heard on the radio this morning, they interviewed Humphrey Bogart's son and Claude Rains' daughter and a bunch of other people that were associated with the actors and everything. And, most of Casablanca was written on the fly. It was being written as they filmed it because it was such a mishmash of stuff. And somehow it became a classic. And actually, the last line of the film wasn't spoken in the original script. Bogart dubbed that in after the fact. The beautiful friendship line.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of interesting trivia I heard about this morning. So, Kingsley Abroqua says, Scribe Light, I missed the Punisher live stream because you had spoilers and I hadn't finished it. Why did you not like it? I go watch the live stream. Everything I have to say about the Punisher series pretty much is in that sucker.
And there's still people who haven't seen it, so don't want to talk about it on
there. And I don't want to talk about the particulars because there are people in the chat that might want to watch it still. I'll only say this: if you're not a Punisher fan, taking that out of the equation, it's not a bad show. It's not awful, but looking at it through the perspective of a Punisher fan, didn't work for me. And the reasons are in that stream. Go watch it if you'd like, or wait until after you've seen the series. Nothing for you here. How do you prevent intersectional deconstructionism from breaking your brain? Scribelite, I seriously need help with this. Just remember that it is effectively no different than astrology. Okay, it is the same rationale. You take these disparate, arbitrary factors in someone's existence and then try to say how they relate to each other determines your prospects or your fate or your condition in life. I mean, it's functionally no different. They put a whole bunch of academia around it and statistics and things like that, but ultimately it comes down to guesswork and just making up, your fortune based on things that have nothing to do with determining anything. Scribelight, will you be watching or reviewing DC TV's Crisis on Earth X? I haven't seen it yet. I won't see it until it comes out on Netflix because I binge all that stuff when it happens. I did a stream on the DC TV universe that was all over the place. I really bit off more than I could chew with that review because I was trying to cover like 5 shows at once or something. And so it's not very good. I have some, observations about that shared universe. I like it in that DC is effectively done on TV what Marvel did in the movies. But Terry Diamantis, if Scribe likes wordplay, Frank Castle and BDSM should be his lord name. Likes wordplay, Frank Castle, and BDSM. Should his lord name be Lord of Punishment? That is a good argument, Terry. I'll keep that in mind. What else? Jack Cochran says, since Weibo can't raise the roof, does she raise the coffee table? Let's see. And then Jack Cochran also says, since Hitchcock was a fucking white male, should we ignore his work the way we ignore Shakespeare now?
Sure. No, it's not a fucking white male. It's fucking a white male. You're fucking a white male.
Oh, God. Age Skrillex, that guy. Oh, man. Has he done anything else? Has he done anything else, I wonder?
I don't think so.
Let's see. Prospero asks, have any of you watched Miyazaki? You're talking about like Howl's Moving Castle and stuff like that?
I love Howl's Moving Castle. And I like Spirited Away. But like I've got the warm and fuzzies for Howl's Moving Castle for like a very specific reason.
Which is?
Yeah. Oh, it's personal.
Oh, okay, it's personal. Okay.
Monkey has no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
You know what? I don't know if you'd like it or not because it's kind of weird. Like, honestly, for me, it's an emotional thing because of the person who showed it to me.
Okay.
So I'm like emotionally like, oh my God, it's Howl's Moving Castle.
So Miyazaki is a Japanese animator, and he's done several really epic films like Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke. I think Princess Mononoke was one of his, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Weird.
Poyo was one of his more recent ones. I know there's a whole bunch of others that I'm just not remembering, but I mean, they're very beautiful movies. Some I like, others better than others. But yeah, I mean, if you showed Grand Monkey Spirited Away, you'd be in decent shape, I think.
Spirited Away is like they're weird, honestly.
They are, yeah, they are deep and sort of.
But I guess that's the
symbolic.
point, you know. I don't know.
Let's see, Alec Detmering. I hope I'm saying that right. Scribe Light Shakespeare was actually a black handmaiden, bruh. Get woke. Oh, did you get that from the root? I can imagine you got that from the root. Jesse just says, Scribbles and Monkey, will you guys do Highlander? Well, I own Highlander. I own the special edition Highlander.
I've never seen Highlander.
The Rock and Highlander, dude. Holy shit, we got to do those then. At some point, maybe not for Christmas month, but you know, after the turn of the new year, we got to get you copies of both of those because holy cow, you haven't seen Highlander?
It never appealed to me.
Sean Connery is, oh my God. All right.
Somebody asked if I've seen Titanic. Yes, I've seen Titanic.
I have never seen Titanic.
Yes, you have.
No, I've seen scenes from it. I've seen
really
bits and pieces of documentaries about it, kind of thing. I watched Red Letter Media's review of Titanic. I learned a lot more about Titanic watching that. I've never actually sat down and watched that fucking movie. I do not.
Well, why not?
I don't care. I have no interest in seeing it whatsoever.
Oh.
Never did. Monkey, have you ever watched Titanic?
I've seen Titanic many times. I actually like the movie.
Okay.
But Jack died because Rose is a cunt.
There's that too. Yeah.
I actually like Titanic.
She had kept her ass on the boat. He could have been on the door by himself and lived.
Yeah. I just want to clarify. I don't have an opinion on Titanic so much as I just don't have any interest in seeing it. I've heard some people praise the hell of it. Some people hate it. I just don't care. I've never had never got caught up in the hype. I really don't care. Let's see. We do Highlander, right? Let's see, Titanic, right? Okay. Cody Fry says to the three of us, who would be the arch nemesis for the Lords of the Night? Well, it would have to be another stream team. Well, I don't know. I don't have any animosity towards another stream, particularly. Irate Bear. Sorry, what? No. No, I don't think we have any arch nemesis. I mean, if somebody did a video about our stream in some horrible way, like these guys are a trio of horrible people or something, I suppose that would become it. But so far as I know, we don't have one, unless we want to make a joke out of it.
I would fuck them up.
Oh. Let's see.
Monkey likes to fight.
Monkey's got like a switchblade.
Monkey does have like a thing for fighting with people.
Base Mama says, I watch Breakfast at Tiffany's and If a Man Answers like 4 times a year. If a Man Answers. I don't think I know that one.
Is Breakfast at Tiffany's about the jewelry store?
Well, only abstractly. I mean, there's like one scene where they go.
Question?
Well, I mean, it's part of the story, but it's not about the jewelry store per se. It's a Truman Capote.
But is that
novel.
like what Tiffany's is referencing, or is it referencing a woman named Tiffany? Okay.
I believe it's Breakfast at Tiffany. Like, yeah, they actually would serve breakfast. It's really expensive, but you can go to Tiffany's and have breakfast.
There's also a song. right? It's a song too, and the song's about
Yes.
the divorce story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your boy Pat says Totoro. Yes, a giant burping cat monster flying kids around. Yeah, my neighbor
I
Totoro.
really did not like My Neighbor Totoro.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it, but man, it is crazy looking.
Yeah, I've seen, because like the person who showed me a bunch of his movies, and My Neighbor Totoro was my least. You know what? It wasn't my least favorite, but the only ones that I really enjoyed, I would say, were Howl's Moving Castle and Spirited Away.
Make Europe Strong Again says Kiki's Delivery Service. I've heard that that's good from people who have watched it with their kids, but I don't know much about it. I think it's like what, like a little witch on her broom, like flies things around to people and stuff. I don't know. I'm probably simplifying it too much. Data Wasteland says Scribe Light. How did you like the 2-part finale of Star Trek Continues? I actually haven't watched it yet. I know it's out there. I haven't had a chance to watch it, so I will withhold. I mean, that whole series is amazing. The amount of effort those guys went to make their little fan series look and sound and the act, I mean, look exactly like the TV show from the 60s is incredible. It boggles my mind that a bunch of fans can get together and put together something that quality, and yet somehow Hollywood is unable, or I should say unable or unwilling to do something like that, because it's amazing. Weebo Jones, why do they keep coming out with the same Jason Bourne movie? Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
As long as they make money, why would they do anything different or put any more really thought into it? Let's see. Your boy Pat says, "Da hell, monkey." I don't
For which
know
thing?
Yeah, the hell.
I'm sorry. I'm scrolling back, so I try not to miss too many people's stuff. Yeah, so yeah, Weibo, I am paying attention to you. I'm just paying attention to you like 5 minutes in the past because I'm trying to get to people's questions. Is all. Scribe Light, have you ever seen the show Freaks and Geeks? Says Uzi Q. I never saw it. I knew of it, but I never saw it. I heard it was good. You ever a Monkey or SDA really? Do you ever watched My So-Called Life?
God no, I'm male and I like women.
Oh, I like that show because the girls were cute back then. Except for what's her name, the lead. Her best friend, who was kind of slutty, was nice to look at. I like that one.
The slutty girls always are.
It's true. Let's see.
I feel like TV doesn't portray slutty girls properly.
Base Mama says, "What Scribe dude? Freaks and Geeks is the shit." I've heard it's good. I never had an opportunity to see it. I mean, I think it came out during a time where I didn't have like TV because I was in college and stuff, and so it passed me by. TV doesn't get sluts right because it's network TV and they can't really show too much. Although My So-Called Life had a lot of implications.
They always show, I mean, the slutty girls are always cute, and in real life, slutty girls tend to be, yeah, they're slutty for a reason. Let's be honest.
Let's see. We got
not that personality.
We got 7 minutes left, guys. So get your questions in.
Somebody said, I've never seen Howl's Moving Castle, gonna see it tonight. Prospero 58. Yeah, it's also weird. Like, they're all weird. But I don't know, like, I really like it.
Well, Miyazaki's movies, I mean, and again, I'm no expert, but for lack of a better phrase, he basically makes fairy tales. So they're magical while sort of set in some of them in like Ponyo is sort of set in a real world, but then it's got a whole bunch of fantastical elements that are just sort of accepted as just part of the landscape.
Howl's Moving Castle, like,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
so they are fantastical fairy tale type things that you just have to sort of watch and accept as you go along, and not think too hard about them being like real or trying to be something that's representing reality. Because I will
say most of his movies are very pro-environmentalism, anti-war type things.
Yes, that's true. Yeah,
which is like his whole angle. So
it's not done in a preachy way, though. I didn't feel it was done preachy.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying like that's.
I know. I'm just saying is that it wasn't like watching some kind of like. I didn't feel like I was being talked down to, I should say, in any of the stuff that I saw of his.
No, but like now I really want to watch Howl's Moving Castle, and like it's just, I don't know, I really love it. It's It's one of my favorite movies.
Rotten Corpse says Scribe Light Spirit Away deals with a brothel. Well, but in a way that's not going to be offensive.
Yeah, kind of. I honestly didn't even think about it that way.
That's true. See, Base Mama, it's not really my bag. Maybe I'm too old. The Last Unicorn was my jam as a kid. Man, The Last Unicorn, every girl I grew up with loved The Last Unicorn.
Yeah.
The Last Unicorn and Winnie the Pooh pajamas. Those are like the two most common denominator loved things by girls in my generation from my limited experience. Like those two things are like just the ubiquitous. Loving Last Unicorn and like Winnie the Pooh pajamas, or blankets, or like flannel blankets or something like that, or sheets. Let's see. Yeah, God, I'm trying to think. What was the cartoon from my? Anybody ever see Banjo the Woodpile Cat?
Never even heard of it.
It's a Don Bluth kind of thing. It's short. You can find it on YouTube. I think it's only like 10 minutes long, but it's one of the most memorable cartoons from my childhood because it had songs in it and imagery and characters, and just that really stuck with me. And yeah. So anyway, I highly recommend. Like it's only like 10 minutes long. It's the Banjo the Woodpile Cat. If you can find it, just take a few minutes and take a look. It's kind of cool. What else? Any other questions, guys? We're coming up on the end of the stream. So do we have any programming notes? Tomorrow night we're on SDA's channel. Oh, sorry, Monkey's channel. Sorry, apologies.
Yes. Book club tomorrow on my channel.
Okay. What book is it this time?
It's another one of the Jenny books, so it's a bad book, which means that you guys get to see me like lose my freaking mind and like get upset. So
Todd Packer says, anybody ever see Fire and Ice? Yes. Fire and Ice, good God. It's one of those cartoons where they kind of drew over real people and sort of cell shaded the whole thing. Not cell shaded, but anyway, they drew over real actors and then turned that into a movie. It's got some of the skimpiest clad women you're going to find in technically a kids movie ever, but
that's what I look for in my kids' movies.
I know. I sure did as a kid. Cody Fry, Scribe Light, what are your thoughts on Labyrinth? Oh man, that is a longer conversation than the 3 minutes left here. I love Labyrinth in a sentimental way. I'm sure if I watched it today, I'd probably have a problem with some of it because that seems to be the routine that goes along with Monkey and I watching movies from my youth. Is that like, yeah, my sentimental memory of this is great. Now I watch it now, I'm like, there's some problems. But overall, I still love it. I still think it's one of the best sort of fantasy kids movies that came out during my youth. That, like The Dark Crystal and Goonies. I mean, Goonies is not a fantasy movie per se, but is a kid's adventure movie, and it's great. I don't think Goonies would be made today.
Oh, especially not the. It's a little too.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. It has kids saying adult things and being adult-ish and a whole bunch of other themes in it that, and I think that's a shame. I think
for the time it was absolutely. I could see many of my friends reacting as any of those kids did.
Sure, and that's the thing.
It was very realistic.
Yeah, the kids are really. The first few episodes of Stranger Things reminded me of that because it's like these kids are acting like kids probably would act. It seems so natural and you can get along with it. And because kids aren't like necessarily these sort of insulated little fuzzy animals that never do anything wrong or say anything nasty. They're people. They're little people growing up in the same world that all the adults are operating in. That's why Goonies was so great. Kids movies should have an element of fear to them. They're supposed to teach a lesson. They're supposed to sort of give you an incentive in your mind of what's right, what's wrong, what's safe, what isn't. And Goonies did a lot of that too. But we're pretty much at the end of the hour, guys. Thank you so much, chat, for joining us tonight, as you always do. Appreciate it so much. All the stories you send, all the comments you make. Even you, Gutenberg, if you're listening out there somewhere. Even you. Thank you to everyone who donated. I will get to working on those ads right away. And for those of you that have requests for things that I record separately, I will try to get those done in time for tomorrow. I will do my best, but I'll at least have them done by the end of the week for sure. Moderators, as always, thank you for keeping an eye on things for everybody. Appreciate that. Monkey SDA, as always, thank you for joining me. And tomorrow night we'll be on Monkey's channel. And everybody, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.